Good morning, everyone. Morning Minutes without Michael Burjo and with me, Mark Novak, and Michael's in Melbourne after the awards night. So you got me, guys. Guys, what I wanted to have a talk with you about this morning is your deposit, and I've worded it who's chopping my plant, because what actually happens lately with deposits in a rising market is whatever you're actually saving to buy a property for, you're actually losing in your sales value or the price of the property going up. So it's actually almost like an artificial economy, and you've got to be really careful about this. So, and allow me to word it this way. If you're saving, so say you're buying a property for 500,000 and the market's moving, in the last quarter the market moved 5%. Actually, can I use $1 million? It may be easier for me to run the example like that. With $1 million property that you're buying, I don't have a calculator with me. You are basically, the property value is going up at 5%, 50K. 50K, the value of the property has gone up 50K. How the hell are you going to actually save a 50K deposit in 12 weeks? You get what I'm saying? Well, let's do the example on a $500,000 property now. It's 25K. So you've got to be really careful when people are saving for a deposit, or they're saving to upsize their property. In a market that's absolutely pumping, the market's actually running away from you. So it's almost like watering a plant. So you're there watering the plant and watching the leaves grow, but then at the same time you come back to the plant 12 weeks later and there's less leaves than there was 12 weeks than have grown. That's what I mean. So you've got to be careful, guys, and it may be worth just jumping and just doing it, because by the time I hear from people, they go, look, I'm happy for anyone watching if anyone's got any questions. As an example, I hear people say, look, I really want to save, like I want to buy something for 500 grand. I really want to save a 20% deposit. It's a mistake, because it's better to only save a 10% deposit because the market is running away from you. So while you're there trying to get your 10% deposit to 20%, the value of the property is going up a lot more than what you're actually saving. It's a big mistake. So I call it a running deposit. And there's also another example. It's not just the purchase of a property, it's the upgrade of a property. So I had the conversation yesterday with a buddy of mine, and he's in a property that's probably worth about 1.8, and he wants to buy something for around 2.5. And the problem he has, similar to the running deposit that we just spoke about, the problem that he has is he's really happy that the value of his property has gone up in the last 6 months, but he's actually really pissed because what he's buying has gone up the last 6 months. So an example of that, say his property value in 3 months has gone up 5%. Let's do it on $2 million. So 5%, it's 100 grand. So the value of his property has gone up about 100 grand. But this is the problem. On 2.5, it's gone up about 120 grand. So the difference is, if he did that upgrade on his property, he wouldn't have sold for as much, but he wouldn't have bought at a higher price as much. And the problem is that gap is a mortgage that he's going to hold for 30 years. So guys, if you're going to be upgrading your property, don't wait for your property value to be worth more, because unfortunately you're going to have to pay more on the upgrade, and what you're paying more on the upgrade is going to be with you for 25, 30 years on a mortgage. So you've got to be really careful. I call it a running deposit. And I'll give you that example again. A first home buyer who's buying at the moment, don't wait to get to your magic 20% deposit. Don't wait to get to your magic 15% deposit, whatever it is, because whatever you're saving, the market's going up a lot more. It's really scary. And again, it's like a tree. you're watering the plant, and by whatever that plant's growing, actually less leaves are there after 12 weeks. Less cash deposit is there as you save more deposit. It just doesn't make sense. You got to put your foot in the door, you got to secure the property, and don't sit around waiting for a bigger deposit. And on the upgrade of a property, again, don't be silly, guys. Just if you can do the upgrade, do the upgrade while you can, or you're going to be taking more on your mortgage later. Sure, you're going to be getting a little bit more for your place, but you're going to be paying a lot more for your upgrade. So guys, hope I helped you today, Saturday morning. Congratulations to Mr. Gutzios, #1 in DY on Rate My Agent. Absolutely huge. DY, guys, is the most transactional suburb in New South Wales, number 5 on the list. So in any suburb in New South Wales, the 5th most transacted suburb is number 5. So to be number 1 on that suburb is a real feat, and congratulations, Angelo. Runner-up Lisa, rising star, congratulations. And everyone that lives on the Northern Beaches, guys, be proud. I was at a national awards night, and a couple of people I spoke to, including Tom Panos, everyone is having a big chuckle about, they all know about DY. They all know about DY, and they're saying DY's got to be one of the most publicised suburbs on social media because how much we plug it. But it's been a great suburb. Also, just a shout out on a great buy that I wanted to mention. Meriton DY is almost sold out, and Meriton DY is now doing a 3% loan. A 3% loan for 2 years. And why that's good for you guys is it's only a 10% deposit, and you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. So normally when you're only paying a 10% deposit on a property, to take the deposit up to 20%, you have to insure yourself, and that mortgage insurance can cost 10, 15, 20 grand. There's no mortgage insurance product needed when you're buying a Meriton product. So there's only 21 odd units left. I'm actually thinking of buying one myself. They're great because they rent really, really well. And also with the Meriton stuff in DY, it's because DY is pretty much sold down. I know what's developable on the Northern Beaches. The whole Northern Beaches has got about 100,000 houses, and the amount of DAs that are not in council at the moment is really scary. We're going into a severe shortage and lack of new stock on the Northern Beaches. So that's why I think Meriton's a very good buy, because it's a brand new unit. It's selling very, very well. The prices of those units have probably pulled back a little bit because we had so many to sell, but now we've actually sold out. We've almost sold out. It's going to have it's at an artificial low. It'll go back to its organic prices, and it's going to have a jump. So you can get into a 3-bedder in Meriton for about $1 million, 1.1. Meriton's going to do the finance. 10% deposits are allowed with Meriton on the 2-year deal, and another thing with that 2-year deal is sometimes tradies can't get loans at the moment with conventional banks. This is Meriton Finance. So because they're a 4th tier lender, they're not a 1st tier lender like one of the big 4, getting lending is much easier. Now there's 2 years for that market to go up as well. 2 years. So if I would estimate, and look, I'm no professor in this, but I know real estate really, really well in the Northern Beaches and in DY. If you can achieve a 10% growth on a product of $1 million, you can stand to make $100,000. That's 5% this year, and that's 5% next year if a Meriton product goes up. So if you can get your hands on a 10% deposit, guys, a Meriton property is an excellent purchase at the moment. Have a look at that product. 10% deposit. Meriton will do the finance for you on a 2-year deal. His interest rate is only 3%, so it's a very, very low interest rate. You can live in the place, so it's cheaper than actually renting. So for owner occupiers that are considering going in there, you can base for $30,000 a year, you can be living in a 3-bedroom. So like, let's do the maths on that. That works out to about $650 a week. It's cheaper than rent. So, and that's for 2 years. So you can get in there, you can pay a 10% deposit. You can, it's cheaper than renting if you decide to live there. It's positively geared if you have it rented out. So you're going to be able to save a greater. You're going to be able to pay down that mortgage nicely over 2 years. And the property value in Meriton, the 2 reasons why I think it's going to go up. 1, it's at an artificial low. Once the building's sold out, there's basically no competition in the market. So to sell it in 2 years will be fantastic. And then you can pay, and the second thing, the property market, if that property market moves 5% this year and 5% next year, that's $100,000 that can be made out of that product. So it's a very, very, very good buy. So that's my tip if I was to be buying something, and I am considering, if I am to be buying something, I would be buying a Meriton 3-bedroom at the moment. That's my tip for today, for Saturday, because we've got so much stuff to sell and to rent today. That is my favorite. And guys, don't forget that running deposit, or that plant that keeps getting chopped when you keep watering it. Don't worry about saving this huge deposit. It is an absolute myth in a rising market. Just get in there and buy that property you need to buy, guys, and we're here to help you. See ya. Cheers.